Hi, I'm TJ, the T1D Warrior and T1D Gamer.
Hi, I'm Dad. I'm just TJ's dad.
Welcome to our video on how we built our Sim Racer real cheap. Dad and I spent only a single weekend building it from items we had in storage and around the house.
We hope this video gives you ideas on how to use things you may have laying around to build your low-budget sim racer of your own. But TJ, the first thing we needed was a gaming system. Just so happened Mom traded an old iPhone we had laying around for a PS4 on Facebook Marketplace. But when we got it home, we discovered the hard drive was bad. Just so happened I had one laying around from an old laptop. We did find that we could pick up one though pretty cheap on Amazon for around about 30 bucks. I googled how to replace the hard drive and found many YouTube videos and was able to use those to replace the hard drive. Then we downloaded software from PlayStation's website and reinstalled the operating system on the hard drive. Through trial and error, we found that you had to format the hard drive on a computer as an external drive using the FAT32 or exFAT format. Then we downloaded the software, put it on a thumb drive, and we discovered, whoa, you have to put the file inside specific folders. But don't worry, all the directions are on PlayStation's website. It's very helpful and can guide you in a direction to get everything done. Then we need a steering wheel and pedals, so we just happened to find one on Facebook Marketplace for $25. Although the seller said that it worked fine, we found that it was not operational. It would not steer left or right when you played the game. So we took it apart and we found a bracket on the back of the steering section had been bent. Apparently it had forced the switch out of the steering column, which was preventing the left and right turn. So we poured some hot water and boiled it and got it where it was a little flexible, and we was able to take some channel lock pliers and straighten it out and get all the steering now back in working order.
Come on, Dad, enough with the geek stuff. Let's start building our Sim Racer.
Slow your roll! I was just trying to explain how we did it so cheap. Let me show you this one last thing and we'll get started. All items we used in this build were items we had in storage and just laying around the house. The only items we had to purchase was the Thrustmaster steering wheel, pedals, and which we spent $25, and the NASCAR Heat 5 game for PlayStation that we spent $19. We found the rest of the materials in the storage and around the house in order to try and save as much money as possible.
It was a fun project that involved the whole family. Even Mom got in the build.
This is our end goal and our final product. The Sim Racer now lives in our basement, which is also called our man cave. Tools we used to construct the Sim Racer were a skill saw, cordless drill, hammer, paintbrush, pencil, and triangle square. We only used a Phillips screwdriver to disassemble the office chair, so you may not need it. We only used a channel lock pliers to repair the Thrustmaster T80 steering wheel.
Dad, don't forget we used a jigsaw to cut number 2 out.
Next, we dug around in the storage room and found an old leftover 2x8s. We also found an office chair that no longer adjusted up or down. We just needed to remove it all and take it to our work area.
Here's the chair. Where do you want it? By the way, Mom said she ain't your errand boy.
TJ and I found out due to the size and weight of this thing, you need to make sure you assemble it near where you're going to place it when you're ready to start racing. We cut the frame in 5-foot long side sections and 19-inch long end sections. We did find out that the old drywood was a little difficult to cut, but that might have been because I had a dull saw blade. But before we get too far into the build, here's just a few other items that we needed in addition to the tools. Again, these are items we just had laying around in storage that tried to help us save a little bit of money. We assembled the bottom frame using 3-inch decking screws.
Dad, this thing is heavy.
Yeah, that's why we were building it where it stayed, so we don't have to move it. We disassembled the chair, leaving us with only the mounting plate on the bottom and the chair itself. We discovered we had to leave the arms on the chair because they hold the bottom and the back together. We may cut the armrest section off later if it's in our way. We also had to have some trash left over to throw away. Think you can handle that, TJ?
Mom already said we need to stop filling up the trash can.
She'll be alright.
I heard that.
Okay then, now back to work. We took the bracket from the bottom of the seat that we had found in storage and we mounted it to a couple of short 2x8s. We had to mount them in a way so we could reach the bolts to bolt the seat back to the bracket once we had everything put back in place. We left the screws loose and left one of the screws out so that we could kind of adjust things a little bit once we placed it inside the frame. And once we got everything adjusted the way we wanted, then we tightened everything down, and we was ready to go to start actually mounting the seat frame to the racing sim frame. This is the first part that's time consuming and a little bit of a challenge. We place the seat frame inside the rails and then tighten all the screws on the seat bracket to the seat frame. Then I bolted the seat to the seat frame. Then I sat down and adjusted it to the angle we preferred. Once it felt comfortable, we used the 3-inch screws to bolt the seat frame to the racing frame. After that, we placed the board for the foot pedals and adjusted it to a comfortable position. This is where TJ was a big help. He held the board in place so I could get out of the seat and use the 3-inch screws to attach the foot pedal shelf to the frame.
I am glad that part is finished. My arms got tired holding that thing in place.
Steering column was not much of a challenge, at least until I actually placed the steering wheel. We used a couple of shorter 2x8s and mounted them to the side of the frame using the 3-inch decking screws. We left the 2x8s long at first, but we will cut shorter once we get the steering wheel placed and adjusted to where we want it. Once we have the steering wheel where we want it, we will mark it and then cut them to fit.
You can always leave them longer in case the big chungus wants to come by and race.
Good idea, TJ, but then we have to stand up in order to race. This is the part you will need a great helper like TJ nearby to help adjust the steering wheel.
I guess that makes me the professional holder.
Every job's important, bud. We temporarily mounted the steering wheel to the 1x12 board and placed it to the height we felt was comfortable. The 1x12 was just spare lumber we had left over from another project. We used 2-inch screws on the 1x12s. Once we had it in place, we marked the steering wheel columns to the corresponding height. I did not include our measurements since this will vary depending on the individual height requirements for you. We used 2x4s to make a 3-sided box frame or a square box without one end. We used the box frame to mount the two 1x12s on the side by side. This made it large enough to hold the steering wheel, the TV, and the PS4. Please note, we did not put the 2x4 in the front of the box frame to prevent us from hitting our knees. We used 2 of the 3-inch screws to mount the pedals to the pedal shelf to prevent it from sliding around. We mounted the pedals to the far right side of the shelf to give it the more of a real car feeling and also give it a place to rest our left foot.
Dad, what about the wires inside of the foot pedals?
Good question. I thought about that too, bud. We took the foot pedals apart to make sure there was nothing in that area that we could damage. Let's be careful not to use screws on the rear of the foot pedals since that is where all the cables and the mechanical parts are located.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay, TJ, I think we're pretty much finished with the sim frame. What do you say we start putting the equipment on it?
So time for the gaming system then.
Yeah, we need to put the gaming system on it for testing and to see how all of it was going to work together.
Hey Dad, can we paint it? It looks a bit ugly.
Let's finish the testing and we will take a look to see if we have any old paint laying around somewhere.
Now that testing is done and it seems to work, can we paint this ugly thing?
Yep, I agree. Everything seems okay. let's head to the paint shop. While we were painting it, a contractor was doing some work on our home and offered some scrap plywood to install as racing sim floorboards. Worked out great and made it look more realistic as a car.
We found and used some old charcoal gray paint Mom had left over from one of her projects.
I think it turned out pretty good. What do you think, TJ?
I have an idea. How about we put a number on the side like it's a real race car?
We'll go see if your mom can print us a number on the computer as a stencil, and don't forget to let her know my favorite drivers, Rusty Wallace and Davey Allison, so it needs to be either number 2 or 28.
Okay, but you old, they don't even race anymore.
Yep, I'm old school, buddy.
Mom found the number 2 in racing font for you, and I have an idea. Why don't we use that leftover yellow paint you used to paint my sandbox when I was like 3 years old?
Awesome idea.
Okay, I finished painting the number.
Wait, wow, that was fast. Hey, look, TJ, it's your philosophy in life.
True that. I think it looks good. What do you think, Dad?
Well, we're not professional carpenters or painters, but we got the job done. We did it in one weekend and only spent $44. Yep, I say we did a good job, and thank you so much for your help, buddy.
Dad, when am I going to get to race?
I don't know, man. I think we may have to look for a bumper seat. Here are a few ideas we came up with after completing the project. It would be well worth it to invest in a very good seat that is comfortable for you. We tried to save money by using an old office chair, but it was very uncomfortable.
Where it is available, make sure you demo the games before buying them.
As stated earlier, but still as important, make sure you build it near where you plan on placing it. Make sure there's no obstacles in your way and enter or exiting Sim Racer.
Be sure to visit my YouTube channel often because we will be adding many more videos regularly. Please subscribe to my channel, T1D Gamer. We hope you enjoyed our video and hope it was helpful.
We also hope it gives you ideas on how to build your own Sim Racer on a budget. Enjoy the racing! Oh yeah, TJ, we forgot to mention some things we changed after the build was complete.
Yeah, you forgot to add a cup holder for our drinks.
That's right. We also had to remove the arm from the seat with the jigsaw. It was hard to squeeze in and out of with the arm in place.
See, that jigsaw did come in handy after all.
Just in case you have any questions, feel free to email me or TJ at tjt1dgamer@gmail.com. And don't forget to go and check out his T1D Gamer YouTube channel.
Dad, who is going to clean up all this mess?
I don't know. You think we could get your mom to do it?
Probably not. At least not if we want to eat supper tonight.
Thanks for watching.